Pack of Your Bags by KT Melodies here on 98.5 WNUW. My name's Owen. Across from me is Luigi. We're back again for another episode of The Kickoff. It is Monday. I wanted to ask you, Luigi, how's your weekend?
Been good.
Been
How
good?
about yours?
Yeah, it was pretty low-key. Got a chance to go out in the city. Obviously was working a lot. Did 16,000 steps on Saturday and then did 22,000 yesterday. So, a lot of steps, man. Burning calories.
Getting that work in.
Yeah, I know. I can eat a lot, and then I try and put on weight, and then on the weekends I do like 50,000 steps sometimes, and I just can't quite do it. I don't like walking, but sometimes I have to. Just like soccer, a lot of these guys, they have to play long games, 90 minutes, probably the most enduring of the big four when it comes to like the big four sports that you think of. Obviously, you're not getting hit like you are in football, but you are running the whole time. You have to stay fit. Obviously, also with that comes mental focus. The more you tire, the more and more difficult it is to stay focused. That's why the best of the best, some of the best teams we're going to be talking about in a moment here, you're going to see like a recurring theme of mental toughness. Like they score late goals, they win big games. So a lot of these teams are on international break. What that means is there's like kind of like a 2-week period every March where they're not supposed to be domestic competitions, no league cups, just international friendlies for the most part. A lot of it, is qualifiers. Was that fair to say? These would count as qualifiers for these teams?
There's a mix of games. Some of them were World Cup qualifiers. A lot of them were also friendlies. And, I'll be honest and kind of might be a little sidetracking, but I really do not like the international break at all. I mean,
why is that?
Because not only do we have one in September, in October, and in November, we have to have another one in March. And I get the international is important, but at that point, just do 1 month before the season, get all the games out, or something that, it doesn't take away from all this season, all this pause in the season, because if a team's building up form, they build all that form up international break.
Yeah.
And, again, a lot of teams, besides, maybe the few that didn't qualify for the World Cup yet or in the qualifying thing, is, they don't want to be playing these, kind of pointless friendlies.
Now, one of the teams that you mentioned there is somebody that comes to mind is Arsenal. Do you think that this World Cup / qualifier / international friendly break could help them? It could introduce a little pause, because a lot of people are preying on their downfall right now. They're thinking they're going to drop in form and blow the lead.
Well, maybe, but it's funny that you bring that up, because Arsenal recently, they were actually calling back a lot of their players from their international duty, like Hincapie, Eze, Madueke, Saka. I think one other player have left their training grounds for their country and have come back to train, for Arsenal. And I saw it was creating a lot of controversy, but at the same time, it's not that Arsenal are just pulling them away. The nation and the FA of the country has to agree to that too, and they're agreeing to let these players go back. Declan Rice as well, I'm pretty sure got called back as well. So maybe
leave it to Arsenal, man. Leave it to Arsenal. They're so greedy, dude.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think, I know in your case, obviously, because you're a Chelsea fan, you hope that.
Yeah, I can't speak on greed, can I?
You know what I mean? Not even on that. That's not even where I was going. It's just hoping that Arsenal fall off. But
oh yeah.
But
yeah, it's no different than if Juventus were.
Oh yeah, exactly.
On a tear, you'd want them to fall off.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they have low key they have, but a lot of storylines in the Serie A that we want to talk about as well later on in the show. You're going to want to listen to the full show today, folks. If you're usually a tuner outer, don't be one of them today. We're going to be getting into some very, very important top 10 rankings later on. I pretty much had a good idea of who I wanted to throw on there, but Luigi did give me a couple names that we're going to go into, and a couple of them are in the Serie A, yes. But first, we're going to stick with this international stuff. Now, recently, Nick Wright from First Things First, one of my favorite shows when it's football season, because they get loud and they get funny and they make lists that are always wrong. What our lists are based on fact. They're not going to be that kind of list, but those people are there for entertainment purposes only, it seems. They don't really give real analysis. Nick Wright loves to hate on Jalen Hurts. He always has him at the bottom of the mountain, even when he makes it to Super Bowls and wins and is the MVP. one of the MVPs for the upcoming U.S. men's national team is going to have to be none other than Christian Pulisic. Do I think that in a list of the 25 most important players for the World Cup, he should be anywhere near the top 5, top 10, top 15 even? No. However, Nick Wright has created a list, and I think he's trying to draw American fans in. There's American bias in the list, and a couple of those names definitely shocked us. Luigi, did you get a chance to see Nick Wright's most important players for the World Cup?
Yes, and Nick Wright, if you're seeing this, stick to football and basketball because clearly soccer is not your thing, my friend. You put Christian Pulisic over players like Vinicius Jr., and you had Pulisic at 6th. Heck, Weston McKennie, with all due respect, a good player. He's not the 26th most, can be an impactful player. The only thing I could have agreed was like the top 3, and I think he even had like, I don't recall the entire list.
He's got
like,
Messi, Ronaldo, and Yamal in the top 3. I think that at this point in time, Yamal has to be above Messi and Ronaldo.
Exactly.
In terms of importance
as of right now.
World Cup right now. Yeah, I mean, these are players that are aging. These are the 2 best players in history.
Yes.
In that order, Messi, Ronaldo. And they're aging, right? So they're not going to be taking on as big of a role, maybe a leadership role, but taking on as big as of a physical and goal-scoring role for their team. You know, for Portugal, I'd argue, how far do I have to scroll to find Bruno Hernandez on this list? This is absolutely ridiculous stuff from Nick Wright. He's put him down at 21 when he should be above Ronaldo right there in the top 5 because Bruno Fernandes creates a lot of chances.
Exactly. Yeah, I just, I don't recall the exact list, going down it. I
can give it real quick. It's Messi, Ronaldo, then Yamal. That's the top 3.
Yeah.
And then they have Mbappe at 4.
I can agree with that.
Holland at 5.
I can agree with that.
This is where things start to get out of hand. Because I'll start to say names later on that you'll be like, what the heck?
Yeah. Pulisic is at 6, which I disagree with.
Pulisic is at 6, Vinny at 7, Harry Kane at 8.
How is Harry Kane, with all due respect to Vinicius, how is he lower than Vinicius? But not only that, lower than Pulisic?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
I will put Kane over.
England still doesn't have a 9. And
I will put Kane over Holland. Heck, even Mbappe, at least as of right now.
Yeah, he's going to continue to be their. When I say they don't have a 9, behind him, I'm saying he's going to continue to be their guy for as long as he keeps scoring those nutty goals for Bayern. This is good right here. Dembele at 9.
It's fair.
Modric at 10. Van Dijk at 11. Son Heung-min at 12. I think we can move him up. I think he's extremely important to that squad.
You would move him up?
I would. I would.
I wouldn't say I don't want to sound disrespectful, but kind of move him down because
No. My thing is if he doesn't get it done now, will he get it done? Will they be able to prove themselves on the big stage as a top 10 nation?
I don't know.
I don't know. Stars are kind of aligning for South Korea. I mean, they have a lot of talent on that squad. Son Heung-min is aging. He's made it all the way to the MLS, which means he's about to close the door
soon.
Yeah. And then we have, this is where things get really good. Jamal Musiala for Germany, 13. Jude Bellingham for England, 14. Sadio Mane, obviously Senegalese legend, at 15. I don't know that Senegal will be as good in this next one. However, they did win AFCON.
Did you see the controversy surrounding that
was
or not?
That was the PK game, or is that the game after the PK game?
No, it's the PK game. But did you see what? Senegal technically, I guess now aren't the AFCON winners anymore.
Morocco was declared the winner following an appeal board.
And then now Senegal's reappealing that.
Okay, what is going on here? Do we have more information on this?
We do. And Morocco won the case, and now they are I guess unofficially declared the winners, but Senegal now have taken it to court. They haven't gotten official hearing yet, but recently they were celebrating during this international break, players like Koulibaly and others were celebrating and showing off the trophy off in Senegal, inside one of the stadiums.
This is great. AFCON just can never seem to get it together, man. There's always some kind of controversy. It's crazy.
And it never fails to disappoint either.
Well, no, I can't doubt it's extremely watchable. I mean, it was awesome. Moving forward, we have Chris Richards from the USA at 16.
I don't know who the heck that. I don't even know who the heck that is.
Yeah, he's the center back for Crystal Palace. He's actually very good.
Was he at Bayern at one? Was this the guy who was at Bayern?
Might have been. I don't know.
Like I think
He might have been.
it was like some youth player then at that point because I
Yeah.
can't really recall.
Lautaro Martinez, 17. 18 is Due. 19 is Pedri, should be further up. 20 is Hakimi, should be further up. 21 is Bruno Fernandes, should be way further up. Folarin Balogun
I don't
at
know how he
22
even cracked that list.
for the USA is above Rafinha, Mo Salah, Saka, and McKennie. I mean, oh man, I don't even want to. Woo!
Again, I'm gonna say it again.
I don't really want to get into it. It's a biased piece, and they want American people to see the American names on the list and tune in. That's what they want.
I'm gonna say it again. With all due respect, Nick Wright, I love your content when you talk about basketball and football.
Yep.
Just stick to that. Do not try soccer because this list is appalling.
Stick to
friend.
Harden and Mahomes.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
this list is appalling.
Because those two sports are just like fake and they're really difficult to consume. So he should just stick to them. That's entertainment over there. Whereas the real beautiful game, obviously the best game in the world. Everybody plays this game. More people tune in to watch a game on Sunday morning, Manchester City versus Liverpool a couple years back than they did to tune in to the Super Bowl. It was like 700 mil to 750 mil in terms of viewership. So that just goes to tell you, any given Sunday, everybody thinks that's a football expression when in reality it's a football expression because so many people tune in and they love the game. So this is a different list that is more accurate right here. Sports Illustrated has put one out, and I wanted to kind of pick your brain. They've moved Bruno up. Bruno's at 15.
Okay.
Hakimi at 14.
Okay.
Vitinha at 13. We'd love to see Vitinha get a mention. We're super high on him.
Exactly.
Messi is at 12, so he's in the list, but he's far down.
Mm-hmm.
Courtois for Belgium at 11. Which, if you think about it, he has single-handedly won Real Madrid some huge
a lot of games in the past, not just this season, but in the past as well. Even like if you want to go as far back to before he was even at Chelsea, Atletico Madrid was he's had a really good career up until this point.
Unbelievable career. Not gonna lie, Sports Illustrated not usually known for their soccer, usually known for their not just a swimsuit magazine, but all kinds of magazines that they put out, right? Of course. But so far cooking on this list.
Okay, yeah.
They have Valverde at the top 10.
Okay, I can work with that.
I think he should be further up, like possibly 7, 8, 9. But they have Rafinha at 9
That's
from
fair.
Brazil, which is fair. Erling Haaland at 8 from Norway.
That can work.
They have Vinny at 7 as well.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. This is where it starts to get good. Whoever wrote this article knows ball. Like all of these have been good. I may want to move up, say, a Valverde, a Rafinha, because these guys are going to be probably competing for Ballon d'Or this year. But get this at the number 6 spot, Michael Elise from France.
Absolute baller. He is a
baller. Elise has been playing really well. And they have Harry Kane, 5.
Yeah, that's fair.
England bias. Pedri for Spain, 4. This is where we're starting to get into some of the best players in the world here. Ousmane Dembele at 3, the third most important player to watch out for. Interesting.
Okay.
Ousmane Dembele at 2. It's Kylian Mbappe, and I think we know who number 1 is. It's going to be Lamine Yamal. So this is a ball knower page.
I think they cooked on this one. I personally agree with everything they said.
All of these players deserve to be in there, and I think as far as the rankings, they did a pretty darn good job. So if you want to learn about some of the guys to look out for, then
check out Sports Illustrated.
Check out. Well, maybe I'm not saying check them out like right now. Like definitely go do that and promote that. I'm just saying this is a list that has a lot of accurate rankings as far as where these players are in terms of who's the best in the world. I mean, is there somebody better than Yamal? I don't know.
I don't know.
Can you even how do you put a cap on that guy's potential?
Yeah, you really can't.
Because the groin injury that he has, it seems like it could be nagging over time, but if he's able to manage that and still play at a high level, as Michael Jordan would say, the ceiling is the roof.
Indeed.
Do you know that clip?
Yeah.
That's a good clip. I'm a Jordan guy, but he definitely had a blunder on that one. We're able to give you more information on international players coming up after the break. We're going to be talking about some of the top transfers, some of the worst transfers, who's been a banger, who's been a bust, names that you're familiar with, and obviously some names that you're not familiar with. Not just Premier League players. We're going to be giving you a couple couple different names from a couple different leagues, even though I do like to focus on the Premier League for the most part. Luigi, if you had to make your own list for the top guys to look out for at the next World Cup, would it look like that? Something like that? Like who would you say are the three best players right now coming into this World Cup? The three best players.
Three best players coming into this World Cup.
Yeah, couple months coming up. Who are the three guys that you think are just like they're on fire right now?
Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
Kylian Mbappe. And I'm going to go with another French guy, Michael Elise.
Michael Elise.
I really rate that guy. I think he's really good. And I've heard that Liverpool is trying to get him.
Oh, no. Imagine they replaced Mo Salah with Michael Elise.
Mm-hmm. But, I think Elise is a really good player. I think, I just really think that he's going to be crucial to France's entire tournament run.
That's a fair assessment. He's a young star. He's shining brightest right now for Bayern in the Champions League. I think my three would be, I'll go Elise at the 3. I think Vitinha at the 2. I think that if Portugal makes it far, if Portugal were to, my goodness, I mean, we're going to get into our list of who we think the best 5 nations are after the break, but if they win it, I think Vitinha is the guy that gets player of the tournament, so I'll go him at the 2. Number 1, Federico Valverde.
Valverde.
Nobody is playing better soccer, better football, if you will, than Federico Valverde right now. So I would say keep an eye on him for sure. After the break, we have the top 5 nations in the world. And after that, we have the biggest transfer flops and biggest signings. Talking the kickoff here on 98.5 WNUW. Beautiful tune that let down by Radiohead here on 98.5 WNUW. Listen up every Thursday at 2:30. Lock into Above the Rim with Chandler, Ryan, and Jalen, breaking down the biggest games, boldest storylines, and the brightest stars in the NBA. Tune in as they're taking you above the rim on 98.5 WNUW. We got Dominic Fike coming up next. Misses by Dom Fike here on 98.5 WNUW. He's got none of them, that guy. Everything he puts out is El Fantastico. Well, almost, just about. He did some weird stuff, away from music. He's kind of experiments with everything, but he's definitely a great artist. You can't dispute that. Luigi, we teased him in the last sorry, your hair is like sticking up. It made me laugh. We teased them in the last segment talking about our top 5 nations. And I'll let you get it started then. Who is your 5th best international team? We're on the international break right now. For those that don't know, clubs aren't playing just yet. It's all international squads. Who's the 5th best international team coming into this World Cup?
In my opinion, the number 5 team is Germany. I think they have a really deep roster. They have some experienced veterans. They got some young up-and-coming talents like Leonard Carl. Yep. We might be very critical of them, like players like Florian Wirtz and Voltemata. Right. But, when they put on that Germany shirt, they kind of turn it around, like Kai Havertz. They have a really good backline with Rudiger, Schlotterbeck.
Yep.
And then let's not even forget about the goalkeepers. They got probably arguably the greatest of all time, Neuer.
Yeah.
Can't really count them out, and I think they can make like a semifinal run.
Right.
Maybe like quarterfinal, semifinal run. I don't think they'll win it, but I still see them making it quite far into the tournament.
Germany is actually also my number 5 squad. That is who I have at the 5 spot coming into this World Cup. I agree with everything you said there. Leonard Carl, he's the German Yamal, right? This is a guy people should keep their eye on. And a name that wasn't mentioned, though, Jamal Musiala. Extremely difficult to take off the ball, underrated baller, and still so young.
Hopefully he can recover from his injury. That's probably why I hadn't mentioned him. Because he's been coming back from that injury. And he's been playing a little bit, but he hasn't been playing a whole lot.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. You're right, yeah. But that's another guy that's on that Germany squad and adds a lot of depth for them moving forward. Mm-hmm. At the number 4 spot, who do you have coming into this World Cup?
I have England.
England at the 4 spot. It
might be a little bit of a controversial take, but I don't think they'll win it because, they'll find they can make it to the final and they'll still find a way to choke it. because that's just how they are. But, when you have players like Harry Kane, Cole Palmer, Bukayo Saka, and, like, even in goal, even guys like, Trafford, Nick Pope, Kyle Walker hasn't been called up, but they got young guys like Livramento, Jed Spence, like Mark Gahey in defense, in the midfield, Rice, Elliot Anderson. Like, they have really... And, like, some of the players I mentioned aren't even, like, locked-in starters, too.
No, they're stacked. Eze and Palmer, who do you play at the camp?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They're stacked.
And, like, Tuchel's going to have a lot of, like, headaches trying to figure out, like, the best possible lineups that he can play because, he's got a lot of quality, like, even with Rashford, too. Like, he can play striker and wing. Like, he can play anywhere on the offensive side of the field, so... I think, again, I think England's got a really deep roster. And, if all the players are in form and they stay healthy, don't have like a serious injury, they could make a deep run into this tournament.
Absolutely agree with you there. England are not at my 4 spot. They are a little bit further up. I won't lie. I have some higher hopes for them coming up. Mm-hmm. But at the 4, I put Portugal there. I've got Portugal at the 4th best squad coming into this next World Cup. Obviously managed by Roberto Martinez. It's going to be an interesting squad. They haven't quite lived up to their fullest potential with their, say, golden generation that they've had. But the likes of João Neves and Vitinha in the midfield together at the same time, they're used to that for both club and country. It's a big-time partnership, and then at the same time, you create one of the most dangerous diamonds in the world with Bruno Fernandes in front of them. Nobody has created more chances through their first 350 games with their club than Bruno Fernandes. He's breaking records, not just in the Premier League, but on the biggest stage in the world. And I think that he can continue to do that in the upcoming World Cup. I think that he'll be a key element to their success should they start to win some games.
Yeah. Interesting, because I didn't have Portugal on my list. I'll be honest with you.
Not at all. Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, not too far up. 4, right above Germany. You heard them in Germany, very, very similar. I have England at my 3. That's my 3rd best. And I'd probably just echo a lot of the same stuff that you said, except I'd probably mix in Cole Palmer's name more because I'm a huge fan. And although we've seen a slight drop in form and time missed because of injury, we all know what he's capable of. Who do you have at your 3 spot?
At my 3, I have the defending champs, Argentina.
Argentina at 3. Wow, Argentina has not made my list.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, they did not make me. Excuse me. Gosh, man, I'm always tripping over my words. Believe it or not, they did not make my list.
No, my opinion is like you can't rule out the champions. I know Di Maria will not be at this tournament, and he's like a real focal point.
Yeah.
In like the whole Argentina setup, but like I can't ignore players like obviously Messi, Tara Martinez, Julian Alvarez, Enzo Fernandez. Heck, keep an eye on this guy here, Nico Paz.
Nico Paz, man,
absolute baller
from Como.
From Como FC, absolute baller. Had a sensational free kick goal over the break, as well. And I think Otamendi's still called up. I'm pretty sure, and like Emi Martinez. Also play Emi Martinez when he puts on that Argentina kit. I think he's only lost 1 game in like a tournament with that Argentina kit on.
Yeah, he gets very, very arrogant though, which is frustrating. But there is no debating that Emi Martinez is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Not the best. I think.
Yeah, no.
For me, it must be Donnarumma or Courtois.
Oh yeah.
It's between them two.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree 100%.
That said, no Belgium, no Italy on this list for either of us. Well, it is what it is. At my 2, I have France. I have Les Blues.
I think our 1s and 2 are they're flopped.
Oh, okay. Yeah, most likely.
Because my number 2 is Spain.
Yep.
And my reason being is I see them. They're. I think depending on how the bracket goes, what side they're on. They make it to the final.
Without a doubt.
Deep team with Lamine Yamal, of course, being the focal point.
Yeah.
But even they have really good goalkeepers like Raya, Garcia, Unai Simon. The defense, they got Balde. Think Laporte, if he gets called up, like they got Le Normand, the midfield, like Gavi, Pedri. In offense, underrated player of our generation, Mikel Oyarzabal. Like
Yep.
whenever he gets,
He's
to
been
these
scoring for France.
tournaments,
I almost said France. He has been scoring for Spain for sure. Yep.
like, I just think, they have Nico Williams. If he can turn to like full fitness, is a problem. This season he has been a little,
Doesn't Ferran Torres wear their 7 shirt?
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
Ferran Torres. Hey, listen, don't count out Ferran Torres. Like, yes, at Barca, he missed a lot
kind
of
of funny.
sitters.
Yeah, he's kind of funny.
And yes, he has some funny missed compilations. I won't lie. But when he puts that Spain jersey on,
Yeah.
he puts the ball in the back of the net.
That he does. I have France Les Bleus at the number 2, at the 2 position. Top to bottom, you can't say enough about this squad. They're absolutely stacked. They have the most talent at each position, probably, if you were to go around. And this is going to be a stage where Cherky can do what he wants. He's going to have full reign when he's in there, and he's going to wow a lot of people. He's going to look like a mixture of what Pogba was supposed to be moving forward and what Zidane had in terms of technical ability. Cherky, the sky's the limit. He could do everything on a football pitch, and he could do it with both feet. All that said, should have come down to it that with them in Spain in the final. I'm going Spain. I got Spain as my number 1 pick. All the reasons you mentioned. Plus, Pedri is the X factor when it comes to guys like Vitinha, João Neves. When it comes to guys that are going box to box like Barella, nobody does it like Pedri. Nobody does it like Pedri, man. He controls the game. He controls the tempo. He looks like he's Modric but quicker. Yeah. He's very, very comfortable. So that's who I have at the 1.
And I agree with everything you said, and I'm basically just going to voice off what you said. Like, for France, they're my number 1 pick. I think they win the World Cup. I just, like how you said everything earlier, their squad is so deep.
So
like,
deep.
Even, like, you can
It's
even
not
go
even
to,
fair.
like, even their goalkeepers, Magnan, Samba, and Chevalier. Right back, they got Malo Gusto. I don't know who the backup is, I won't lie. But in the defense, they got Konate,
Probably Mukiele.
Upamecano, Teo Hernandez, who me personally I'm not the biggest fan of, but whatever. Lucas Hernandez, his brother.
Yeah.
The midfield, Cherokee. I know he's never Cam. The midfields, they got Conte, they got Rabiot, they got Chouameni, they got Camavinga.
Yep.
In offense, they got Mbappe, they got Olise, they got Ekitike, Cherokee, Thuram.
Yeah. Doué as well, and
Doué,
Barcola.
Barcola.
Both Doué and Barcola are on form. Oh, man.
Like, my thing is, like, your teams are going to have to figure out how to stop, like, that much depth because, it's ridiculous how much depth France has. And, I feel like even if they're struggling in games, they can just bring some of those players on and they will change the match for you in, like, a snap of your finger.
Absolutely agree with that assessment of Les Blues. We know that, we've seen them win World Cup in our lifetime. We know that they can do it. We know how elusive Mbappe is. That's a name that you didn't say, but I'm with you. I kind of don't.
Mbappe, yeah.
I don't like him that much. I don't like to talk about him that much. I think that he's kind of flopping sometimes, not getting back sometimes. Sometimes he's not living up to the expectations that he's supposed to. However, you cannot doubt his greatness. He is one of the best players in the world, if not the best when he's on form. So we'll have to keep an eye on Mbappe and also your guy Olise for sure. Yeah. Coming up after this next song, we are going to be talking about the top 10 flops, not just in the Premier League, but across Europe. We'll touch on a couple other leagues, and the top 10 big signings over the last year. So if you want to know more about, who these players are and where they come from, if you don't know too much about the game, but you're looking to get into some big names for this upcoming World Cup, then this is where you want to be. You want to be sitting here listening to the Kickoff. Who else is bringing you all this information on European football, these fun sports takes on European football in the Philly area? Nobody. That's who. Coming up next, we got Eminem by Netan Vega. Back to Friends by Somber. Here on 98.5 WNUW, we got the music. We also got the football talk. We're talking about soccer. We're talking about flops and tops and flops. And those are the best and worst players that have been signed for hundreds of millions of dollars and euros all across Europe in this past season. Starting us off at number 10. Now, I'm going to go into the honorable mentions real quick for some managers. three managers I wanted to talk about real quick because all of their teams are in bad shape, and you probably wouldn't really have expected that. First, Nuno, heading over to Nottingham. He had some success with keeping Wolves in the Premier League. He heads over to Nottingham, and it looks like this season. I mean, I just want to mention this season in particular, him being there, because they're fighting relegation, and they've been playing some very, very poor football after, cracking Champions League football just not too long ago. So I definitely want to bring up Nuno. Also, Igor Tudor at Tottenham, staying in the Premier League. I think that was, a pretty horrible campaign for that fella right there. Tottenham are below Nottingham in the table, also fighting relegation to stay out of it.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah, I know, really. And taking a trip over to your Serie A, this season, Paolo Vanoli was brought in.
That's a wild pull, not gonna lie.
He was brought in around this time last season. It was February, not March. And Fiorentina's been bad, dude. My whole life growing up, they were a top 8, top 6 Serie A team, and this year they are kind of like Tottenham, a couple points above relegation. So I wanted to throw out three managers that we at the station have recognized as doing a poor job this year.
I would have replaced, I guess, Vanoli with Pioli, because Pioli came in because at the beginning of the season, Pioli was the head coach, and he did absolutely terrible. Vanoli's just trying to steady the ship. He hasn't done the best job, but
well, he came in February.
I think he came in earlier in the season, around December-ish, I believe. November, December-ish.
Let me see. It says that Vanoli, although he has tried his best to do well, he's doomed.
Hey, they're above the relegation fight now, and they're competing in the Conference League. So I think he steadied the ship somewhat, at least. Yeah.
So those are the three guys who have, unfortunately, they're in some tough spots here. Their team is absolutely floundering. And we want to start with those guys. But first, at the 10th spot, I've gone for Nicholas Jackson. Only, 17 mil, but paying anything for that guy feels like a flop.
Yeah, plus it's only a one-season loan, too. Kind of reminds me of when the very first time you signed Joao Felix in the second half of the 22-23 season.
Yep.
Gives off the same kind of, bad signing.
Yeah.
At my number 10, I put Lois Openda for $43 million from Leipzig to Juventus.
Yeah.
This man has played 21 games in the Serie A. Only 5 have been starts. 1 goal. I think in all competitions, maybe 2 or 3 goals. I think one of them's in the Champions League. And I think that's across maybe 25, 30 appearances. Which, for $43 million, really poor investment from Juventus, because it's a $3 million loan deal, and then it's a $40 million obligation at the end of the season if Juventus stays up, which they'll stay up, and so it's going to be $43 million paid for him, and it's just really bad signing. Who do you have at your number 9?
Well, so far this season we've had a couple different players that have made it either out of Newcastle or to Newcastle, and they haven't quite worked out. I don't have Openda on this list, although I can see where you're getting that. I mean, that's a big-time signing for what's supposed to be one of the biggest clubs in Italy, and he's just not doing anything. Mm-hmm. My number 9 is actually going to be a winger. It's Anthony Elanga. The Swedish winger was brought in to the tune of 55 to 60 million, and has not really lived up to the standards that they wanted. Even though he has 27 appearances so far, he has 1 assist to show for it. This is in the Premier League, of course. Mm-hmm. He played really, really well in that Champions League game, brought them 2 goals, but
the only 2 goals he scored for him.
has not been doing well for Newcastle. I mean, it's just I can't even wrap my head around that. I'm looking at it in front of me, and I still can't believe it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because we saw what he's capable of in that UCL game, and he just hasn't been able to bring any.
Even
of that.
Last season at Nottingham, I'm pretty sure he was one of the top leaders in assists for the Prem last season.
At Nottingham, he brought 11 assists.
And I think, 5-6 goals?
Scored 6 goals, and it looked like, he could have scored more, but it's, I don't know. It is what it is. In 27 appearances, he's got 1 assist for Newcastle this year. I don't have too much to say on Elanga, but he's definitely making it into my list for his price range. Right above him at number 8, I've got Milos Kerkez.
Oh, I was going to say my number 9.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I forgot. I thought you said your 9 already.
No, not yet. My 9, Franco Mastantuono for 45 million for Real Madrid.
Mastantuono, okay.
Doesn't really play, has like 1 to 2 goals, I think. And like when he plays, he goes under 10, 15 minutes of actual playing time. And watching him play, he's been honestly quite poor, bar like 1-2 games. I just think, granted, they already had Rodrigo on the right, Brahim Diaz on the right. I didn't really see the vision bringing this guy in to play on the right when there's already 3 players. Heck, you can even throw Arda Güler, because Arda Güler even plays more on that wing than he does. So that's my number 9. But
yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of feeling that they should loan him out to a smaller club because at 18 years old, pulling up to Real Madrid with all those other players at the club that you just mentioned, it's a daunting task. It's a tall task to try and crack that lineup.
yeah.
So I mentioned my 8, Milos Kerkez, came in for 40 million, was absolutely electric at Bournemouth the season before, and now he's been stinky for Liverpool. He hasn't defended well. Players get by him easily. He doesn't necessarily hold the line like he's supposed to at times, and it seems like he's lost some of the fire that he had moving forward with the ball. It seems like their creation has been coming more through the midfield.
Yeah.
Who do you have at your 8?
At my number 8, I hate to pick on you, and this won't be the first time I quote-unquote pick on you.
So it begins.
Number 8, Liam Delap for 35.5 million. Chelsea, and their sporting director, I don't know what they were throwing cash at. Granted, he came off of a good season with Ipswich, scoring 12 goals in the Prem, which a lot of strikers can't do. And then Chelsea have signed him, and I think he's only scored, 2-3 goals? Maybe 4 at max?
If that.
And about 25, 26 games. I think that kind of sums it up to keep it short with that one. Who'd you have your number 7?
In the Premier League, he scored 1 goal.
Yeah.
So his goals are coming outside of the Premier League. Real quick, back to Milos Kerkez. 2 goals. He's got 2 more goals than
Delap?
Who was I just talking about? Elanga. Same number of appearances and 2 more goals than Elanga.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm glad Elanga. I have him at 9. Kerkez at 8. At the number 7 spot for 35 million, brought over to Tottenham Hotspur. This guy is so lazy, loses the ball every time he gets it, never works back, and always tries to fight the other team. Mathis Tell. Yeah, I got him at the 7 spot. I don't think he's quite worked out for them. They're going to need somebody to step up and play hard in these upcoming games. He was the only guy that kind of stood out, maybe with Kudus as well, as players that were fighting hard and really trying to play through the rough patch that Tottenham's going through. But to this point, I don't think that he has helped that squad at all.
Yeah, no. And my number 7, I have another Chelsea player, Alejandro Garnacho, for 46 million.
Great, yeah.
Again, another question I want to ask to the Chelsea sporting director, right? Quick spoiler, you already bought Bino Giddens, right? What's the point of bringing another left wing in Garnacho when you have players like
they're both bad.
Players like Pedro Neto and then Willian who are probably going to play on both sides. Like, they give me the impression that they're they're playing on career mode with these players that have they're young, they got potential, and then it's like you play them, they grow a little bit. By the end of the season, they go up +5. But it's just not how that works in real life.
That's not how the real world works. Yeah.
Like Garnacho was literally a reject by Man United after the Europa League final. Amram said, "Go find a club if you can," and no one wanted him but Chelsea. And I remember this was a long negotiation too. It wasn't just Chelsea offered money and he went immediately. It was months of negotiation. And again, 46 million, that might be the greatest piece of business Man United have ever done for a player, being that it was Garnacho. And
yeah, but then they spend it all on Šeško, so it's like...
Yeah, Hey, listen, Sesko's been an all right player.
Off the bench, yeah, he's okay.
Off the bench, he's been okay.
Yeah, he's
He's
okay.
been all right.
He did not make my list, actually. I thought about putting him on. He did not make my list. At my 6th spot, Garnacho, 46 mil. You just said it all. Who you got at your 6?
My 6, it hurts me to say because he was playing at my team this season. Lorenzo Luca for $35 million. He's at Nottingham Forest right now. So after 6 months, he went on loan to Nottingham Forest. He's not even called up to their squad for their Prem games. He plays the Europa League matches because, he's not very good. Plus, he has some character issues. But when we signed him originally, he was supposed to be like Lukaku's replacement, like a backup to Lukaku. Lukaku got hurt. He played 2 games to start at the beginning of the season. And then we signed Højlund. Then after Højlund signed, I think this guy got 4 starts after that across Serie A, Coppa Italia, and Champions League. And granted, I kind of put myself in his position. If you're, besides games that you start, you're only playing like under 10 minutes and under, you can't really prove yourself. And, I kind of, want to like critique content that because I think he probably should have gotten more games to play or at least kind of prove himself. But there's other games where, he'd come off the bench, kind of stink up the place where, he couldn't get a touch. Even sometimes when he'd run, it looked like his feet were stuck in cement.
I'm watching now. He's a big dude, man. That's a big, strong player. He reminds me of Chris Wood, and they're still trying to play him a lot of through balls in the videos. When in reality, I think he's more of a hold up kind of guy.
He's mostly like when we first signed him, I looked at some of the goals he scored.
Yeah,
you need a guy who can cross the ball to him, like get him a header or something like that.
Definitely.
Because if you don't have anyone like that, it just like ruins the whole point of signing him. And he didn't really live up to expectations. He had a lot of blunders, to say the least, with like a red card against PSV for pointing his hand to his head at the ref, calling him an idiot. But, I doubt we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do with him this summer because I doubt we're going to make that money back.
Yeah, probably not. That's $35 million you wasted on that guy?
$35 million.
Tough. That's a tough one. Moving up to the 5 position. This player's double that price at $70 million. Xavi Simons. I have Xavi Simons as the 5th biggest flop so far. Another guy that just doesn't really bring the kind of effort that you want him to for the full 90. If he is playing the full 90, a lot of times he's been brought on as a sub this season. Brought in to try and be a creator. Brought in because he showed everybody on the world stage what a great player he was with Netherlands. And then lost all of that in like a couple weeks. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a confidence thing. I don't know if it was the curse of Tottenham. They're just so stinky. There's nothing going right with that team right now. Xavi Simons just caught in the crossfire, but look, this guy has not been anywhere close to $70 million.
Been really poor. Like you said, the first couple weeks of the season had like a goal and 2 assists, and I think from that point onward, he's only had 2 assists in the Prem.
Yeah, very, very underwhelming so far. We wish him all the best, but man, not good. We're breaking into the top 5, Luigi. Who do you have at 5?
At number 5, I have Nick Voltemata for $75 million.
That's a lot of money.
Now, it can be controversial because one could look at his stats and say, he isn't that bad off the eye test, off like just looking at him.
Yeah.
But the issue lies in that he was balling out at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And, was actually doing quite well, living up to his price tag. But after a certain point, he dropped off. And there was this game against Sunderland in which he scored an own goal. From that point onwards, he has been, I don't know, it's like kind of like in Space Jam where they suck the, like the good out of you. He just became so poor after that point. He got dropped. Now, Anthony Gordon, who's like a winger, like attacking midfielder, is playing striker.
Yeah.
And now Voltemata, when he plays, is playing attacking midfield when he plays as a starter.
That's a little weird.
It's just, he dropped off a lot, and, he really just has not lived up to that $75 million price tag. Not really his fault. I mean, no one wanted to go to Newcastle. Like, Sesko turned them down. Ekitike turned them down. Like, there was a lot of players that Newcastle were linked with, and then he kind of was the last one. And, he was originally linked with Bayern, and Bayern wanted him, but they weren't going to pay that much money for him. So.
No, they weren't. Yeah, because Bayern already has...
Kane and, I guess, Jackson, but, Harry Kane...
don't throw Jackson in there. They already have Harry Kane.
They already
That's
have
what
Harry
did.
Kane, so it's like,
Yeah. I'm going to talk about somebody else from Newcastle that they signed, a striker that has not lived up to expectations. He's got far less goals. He's got less appearances, but far less goals than this guy Voltemata. I'm talking about Brentford's own Johan Vissa.
Johan Vissa.
So they signed him for around 60 million, and he has been very poor. I will say when he was at Brentford, he was one of my favorite players to watch in the Premier League. The way he linked up with Damsgaard was absolutely amazing.
I think he had 20 goals across all competitions in his last season before he joined Newcastle.
Yeah, when he was at Brentford in 2024-2025, he had 4 assists and 19 goals in the Premier League. The year before that, he had 12 goals and 3 assists. So he was very, very productive in his time there, and he was able to prove himself pretty early on when he was there. Not the same as what's been going on so far in his Newcastle United tenure. I mentioned 60 million through 13 games. He has 1 goal only, and that is not reminiscent of the old Johan Vissa whatsoever. Granted, he doesn't have Damsgaard feeding him the ball anymore. Mikkel Damsgaard is one of the most underrated ballers in the world. I've been saying this for years now, but watching that guy pick apart Premier League defenses game after game, season after season, and he never gets the love he deserves. I just got to throw it out there. I believe he's Danish, too. So
Danish. He used to play in Italy for Sampdoria when they were up in the top tier.
I mean, that's another thing. He's Danish, so he doesn't
Get
really
the
get
hype.
a lot of the limelight. Yeah, nobody really from
And for the number 4,
Denmark does.
same thing as well.
Yeah?
Johan Vissa.
You got Vissa at 4, all right.
Johan Vissa at 4 for 58 million, 60 million, as we said. And what you said is a perfect analysis, and I agree with what you said. And what makes this whole thing worse for the Vissa transfer is that he was injured in the preseason. And he didn't go with Brentford to even go to their preseason.
I was going to say, he shows up on the list for Brentford for last year, but no appearances, nothing. Yeah.
He has 1 year left on his contract. So they didn't even need to sign him just then. They could have waited an extra year so they could have gotten him on the free. But since Vissa, because in the reports, Vissa really wanted the move too as well, he was pushing for the move, and then they got him to pay 60 million for him, which, he only started playing, I think, this calendar year. Like you said, he's been out, he'd been out for a couple months with an injury.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just, as of right now, not really a great signing. And I'll just say it. Number 3, I have Jamie Bino Giddens to Chelsea for 56 million.
Okay.
Kind of, like I said, I was spoiling it when I was talking about the Garnacho transfer again.
Yep.
A player that I don't think he's Prem material. I think he only had 1 good season in the Bundesliga with Dortmund. Just not a profile that fits Chelsea's even system, even with Maresca, now with Rosenior.
Yeah.
It really baffles me as to why they decided to spend nearly 60 million on this guy. I'll leave the word to you all.
I don't know why we've signed half the players that we signed. I don't know why we've signed 3/4 of the players that we've signed. Badiashile can't play. Hato can't play. Fofana, I don't even think that guy belongs on a soccer field half the time. Tosin Adebayor. Oh my gosh.
Awful.
Just a lot of problems. A lot of problems with the Chelsea back line. And that's not even me mentioning any of the $100 million wingers that we've purchased. So for some reason we did go out and get Gittins, and he hasn't done anything. He'll continue to do nothing. It's extremely frustrating. We want players like this to perform. You wish them all the best, and it seems like they get in their own head and they almost psych themselves out of it. So they can't live up to their own price tag, and that's how they make it onto the top 10 flops. I've got Gittins at 2. At my 3, I had Florian Wirtz for 120 million.
Yeah,
he is an electric player for Germany. He's a very, very talented football player, but when it comes to the Premier League, when it comes to league play, he's been shocking. He has not fit into the Liverpool system at times, and he's missed a lot of sitters. So are again rooting for Florian Wirtz, but I've got him in at the 3 spot for 120 million, and Jamie Bino Gittins at the 2 spot.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. I have him on my list. We'll get to that. But at number 2,
yep,
Alexander Isak for $145 million.
Yeah.
Already same thing with, going back to Vissa, missed the preseason because they're trying to force a transfer, so they didn't actually properly train or get fit for the season. And Isak was basically forcing this transfer the entire time, even after Liverpool were chasing him for months, then signed Ekitike, which I thought that was going to be the striker.
Was this always a thing in soccer? Was this always a thing, or are they just copying American athletes that just start being lazy bums and just sit out and cry if they want to get traded?
I don't know, but it's been quite a trend as of recently.
Yeah, man. It's like a trend to do this now.
Then Isak, finally got the move towards the end. Then when he was playing for Liverpool starting, he seemed so out of fit. He scored a couple goals here and there, but then he broke his leg due to Mickey Van de Ven. He came off the bench, scored, then broke his leg, and now he's supposed to be back for the UCL against PSG, so, maybe he can prove us wrong, but as of right now, 3 goals being spent for 145 million, not good at all, especially that he's a 20-goal per season scorer with Newcastle in the past, 2-3 seasons.
Yeah, that's my number 1 right there. Alexander Isak for 145 mil. He was electric at Newcastle. Twinkle toes, man. He could do step overs, do in and outs. He could do everything that somebody half his size could do, and he did it elegantly. It's an impressive thing for a 6'3", 6'4" striker to be able to do those things. It really is, and he hasn't done any of them at Newcastle yet. So again, another player we hope is healthy soon, but he is first on my list as the biggest flop. Luigi, who's your biggest flop?
Who's your number 2 again? Just real quick, I forget who it was.
Oh, I had Bino Gittins at the 2.
Bino Gittins at the 2. Okay, my number 1 flop. Give me Florian Wirtz, 125 million.
Yeah.
Basically everything you said, 100% agreed. And it's, I think the problem is that there has to be a Bundesliga tax, because a lot of these players on this list, like Wirtz, Gittins, Voltemata, and there's probably some that you have mentioned as well, they're all from the Bundesliga. And we've seen it in the past with players like Kai Havertz, Timo Werner. They come from the Bundesliga for this hefty price tag, and they just failed to live up to expectations. But Wirtz, I also think he's getting failed a little bit because he's not playing in his natural cam position, and he's playing on the left wing because, you have to make room for Szoboszlai because he's arguably Liverpool's best player. But even then, there's a lot of games where, he's just very non-existent, messes up a lot of like you said, messes up a lot of easy chances, doesn't put the ball in the back of the net, not creating a lot of chances. Yeah, I agree with what you said, everything. We had the same ideas here. So, for me, Florian Wirtz has been the biggest disappointing signing of this season.
I am fully on board with you there. I like Isak as my number 1. I like Wirtz as your number 1. I think we got 2 pretty banging lists there. We're going to be moving away from the biggest flops. We don't want to get too negative. We don't want to get too down on these guys. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's been a lot of good things that are happening in the world of corruption. I mean, the world of football. Sorry. That was a Freudian slip. Wow. Now, focusing on the best signings, we're going to bring you them right after the break. This is Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie here on 98.5 WNUW LP Aston. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Kickoff. A Forest by The Cure here on 98.5 WNUW. I'm not wearing my Cure shirt today, but I do like The Cure. I love me some 80s music. We are moving into the top 10 signings so far over the past year for European football. Now we are mostly focusing on the Premier League because that's kind of what I'm watching the most of. Luigi's always bringing ball knowledge from the Serie A as well. That said, we're going to let Luigi kick it off this time. We left you talking about the flops, and I started that one, so we're going to let Luigi kick it off. Who you got at the 10th spot?
At number 10, I have Gianluigi Donnarumma for $30 million. Absolute bargain, absolute steal. I would have ranked him higher, but Man City as a whole have been quite underwhelming this season. But nothing to take away from him. Has made a lot of important / crucial saves.
Yep.
Really, really great goalkeeper. Arguably the best. Probably top 2, top 3 at the minimum in the world.
On his day, he's the best. On his day, what we saw in that Champions League run.
Yeah, like he made over 20. I think he made over 10 saves that night against Liverpool.
And he was stopping PKs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this is a guy that's not just revered for his play in open play, but also for like stopping PKs, studying players, and getting down. Mm-hmm. So that's your number 10. At my number 10, I have Hugo Ekitike. I was trying to find the correct numbers on this. I believe it was like 75, 80 to like 90 mil, somewhere in there.
Yeah, 95 million.
Oh, it was 95 million. Mm-hmm. Wow, I didn't realize it was that much.
At least according to all these numbers that I'm saying are according to transfermarket.com.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, I couldn't figure out if that was like his value now or if that was what it was at the time of the contract. So I was checking like different sources. And so I got different numbers for a couple of the guys. But right around, call it like 90 million, 95 million for Hugo Ekitike. He's been playing well this season in the absence of the guy we were just talking about in the last segment on the flops, on Alexander Isak. Hugo Ekitike has been making up some ground, and he's been scoring a lot of goals. So that's who I have at the number 10. I'll go right to number 9, João Pedro. I got João Pedro at the number 9 spot for Chelsea. He was huge for us. The second he walked in that door, scored some goals for us in this Champions League run as well. Super disappointing Champions League run, but João Pedro once again proving that he can get on the end of some of these balls that we're whipping into the box, because we were really struggling to find somebody to put up top.
Yeah, so for number 9 and number 8, at number 9 I had Hugo Ekitike for 95 million, and at 8 I had João Pedro for 64 million.
Oh, well, so we're okay. There you go.
We're basically on the same wavelength.
Yeah, and we weren't looking at each other's.
No,
This is what I don't want people to think that we sat down and hashed it out and copied each other. No. We sat down and hashed it out on our own thing. Like I was focusing on stuff I was reading on the computer, and also previous ball knowledge. But Luigi did give me some prices. He was more up to date on what some of these players are worth, so I do thank him for that. But yeah, that's interesting. Our lists are very similar. Yeah. So your 9 was Ekitike.
My 9 was Ekitike, and my 8 was João Pedro.
Any kind words for the Chelsea man?
Hey, listen, you finally got one signing right.
Yeah, finally.
you got one signing right out of the other 3 that we mentioned in the last list.
We were due for one. We needed somebody to score some goals when Cole Palmer's form was dipping.
You know what they say, every squirrel finds its nut.
That is true. That's one of my favorite expressions, actually. So thank you for reminding me of that one. I'll find a way to work that in later on. I have Donnarumma at the 8. He was your 10. I have him at the 8. And, you said pretty much everything there is to say about Gianluigi. He's a baller. Who do you have at your 7?
At my number 7, I have Martin Zubamendi for 70 million to Arsenal.
Okay.
This guy, you could talk about Eze, you could talk about Rice, heck, I'll even bring up Norgard, even though he's a bench warmer.
Yeah.
Zubamendi is Arsenal's best midfielder as of right now. He's the box-to-box. Yes, he may have had that error against Man United that cost him.
Yeah.
But besides that moment there, this man has been impeccable. He's been really good, one of the best box-to-box, playmakers that there are, not just in the Prem, but even in the world.
Yep.
I would say easily the top 10 midfielder, maybe top 10, top 15 midfielder. Really class. And, he was going to go to Liverpool, but, he didn't want to go to Liverpool because Xabi Alonso wasn't the head coach, or wasn't close with Xabi Alonso. And Arteta saw the vision in him. He gave him the blueprint, let him play it. And we've seen it on the pitch with Zubamendi. He even gets a good goal every now and then. Good hold-up play. Really knows how to progress the ball forward as well, too.
Now, there's something else I wanted to ask you about with that Arsenal team. There's been a lot of big signings and a lot of people leaving. Zubamendi, 70 million. Do you think that Arsenal could have or should have tried to get him for less? Because that's a big price tag. That's a huge price tag for a player.
There were discussions that they were trying to get it done in the 60 million range, 10 million less.
Yeah.
But Real was also, Sociedad was playing a little bit of a hardball and they really wanted this prospect. I mean, he also gets called up for Spain too, so they really wanted him. And, I think the money's right because what they're trying to build, like as we're seeing this season, unless, they generally just bottled it, they really should be winning the Prem this year. And, I don't think the money, I guess the money is important, but on a player like that, I think it's really crucial that, they got him at the end. If it was like an 80 million, then I could understand why maybe they wouldn't. But I think 70 million for Zubamendi is a fair price.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think that Zubamendi, as good as he is, he actually did not make my list. But hey, look, I have an Arsenal player right there at the 7. I got Eberechi as a 70 million, about 75 million. I have him at the 7 spot, and I think that he is kind of like the right-footed Cole Palmer. He can score goals. He can play passes, cross field, on the ground, the grass cutter ones, the long ball, the curled ones over the top. He's got a big time, what's that called when you have your clutch gene? He's got the big time clutch gene when Arsenal need a goal. Eze's there to score it. So I have him in at the 7 spot, and I've been pretty impressed with him so far this season.
Yeah. I was surprised that at one point he got dropped entirely, and I think it was unjustly so because Odegaard has not been good.
Dude, Odegaard needs to go.
No, yeah.
I'm not an Arsenal guy, but I don't think that he's
the captain of Arsenal, and I just don't think he should stay.
Yeah, he should. How is it still not Gabriel or Saliba?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Interesting. It feels like they lead from the back. Seems like they're a strong defensive unit first before they start to
attack, yeah.
Well, yeah, I got Eze at the 7.
Who do you have at 6?
At the 6 spot, I've got... See, now you gave me this one. I wasn't going to put Luka Modric on here, but it was a free transfer.
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason, I put Luka Modric in at the 6, his move to AC Milan, and has been helping AC Milan greatly this season. And it's just amazing to see this guy age like fine wine as far as his footballing ability. Left foot, right foot, instep, outstep. Luka Modric can do it all. Even at his age, is he 40 yet? He's got to be breaking in.
He's 40. He turned 40 in September.
Luka Modric, man, still doing it. Probably, like you said,
best center midfielder, not maybe just of our generation, but potentially of all time
potentially
as
of all time, not just our generation. So I had to put him at the 6 because you filled me in that it was actually free, and I was trying to figure out where I should put him. Not quite top 5, but he needs to make this list, in my opinion.
He's in my top 5. Little spoiler. At my number 6, Sene Lemons for 21 million to Man United.
Nice, yeah.
They needed an upgrade in goal. And, having Onana is going to cost you a lot of games. And Onana, even the few games he played this season in a Man United jersey, was atrocious. And even in the last seasons beforehand.
Yeah.
Atrocious.
Yeah.
The fact that they got this Lamens dude for 21 million, I'll be honest with you, I don't know who this guy was.
Neither did I. But it's a bargain.
Absolute bargain. He makes a lot of saves. Granted, I know he may not hold a lot of clean sheets, but Man United's defense is, that's a whole nother discussion. But, he stops a lot of shots per game.
Was the goalie for Belgium when they played USA a couple days ago, as we mentioned earlier. We're on international break.
Yeah, second
he
ever
was the
performance.
Goalie. And Belgium is, I'll just read it. Belgian media fawn over Sene Lemons display. They like him.
Yeah.
They like him. They're very happy.
Mm-hmm.
They like him.
He's a really good player. At my number 5, I have Piero Hincapié for 52 million. The structure of this deal is a 6 million loan, for this one season here, and then the 46 million will be purchased at the end of the season. This guy does not put a foot wrong. At left back, I mean, he's taken Lewis Skelly's position, and Lewis Skelly was really good player. He hasn't been playing in months. I think he's only made 3 appearances this calendar year.
Dude, he stole his chain. I mean, Lewis Skelly was looking like he was going to be the next thing for Arsenal down that left side, and
could have been the next Ashley Cole.
And instead, Hincapié, I believe he is Is he Venezuelan?
Ecuadorian.
He's Ecuadorian. Okay, I could not remember because you got the yellow, you got the blue, you got the red, and I'm mixing it up in my head. Ecuadorian plays with Moise Caicedo.
Moises Caicedo.
Yeah.
Also, on top of that, he dropped my fellow countryman, Ricardo Calafiori, because he also plays left back. Granted, Calafiori can also play center back, but primarily in the Arsenal setup, he plays left back.
Mm-hmm.
He had Calafiori dropped, and he's made that left back spot all to himself.
Yep.
Defensively, he knows how to time his tackles. He reads the game excellently. He presses forward, puts in crosses, creates chances. Like, he's not like kind of like a DeMarco or Teo Hernandez-esque player, but he can still do that. Maybe not as good, but he can still do that job as well. So.
And probably a better one-on-one defender than those guys.
Exactly.
Because
yes.
I think I remember him being at Leverkusen as maybe a center back first option before starting to work his way outside and work his way up the pitch. I actually have Sene Lemons at the 5 for 21 million, so very similar to you there. Hincapié does not make it on my list. I was trying not to put Arsenal players on this list. I just absolutely love Eze, so I stuck him on there. But yes, I'm impressed with Hincapié as well. That was your 5, right?
Hincapié, yeah, he was my 5.
Who you have it for?
My 4, give me one second. I'm re-advising my list.
He's re-advising his list. I'll tell you my 4.
List.
At 4, I have Ryan Cherky to Manchester City. I believe that transfer fee was around 45 million.
36.5 million. That's
36. I must have been looking at US dollars. 36.5 million for a guy that can do just about everything on the football pitch with both feet. I've been a big fan of this guy since I was using his silver card and, like FIFA 21, FIFA 20, FIFA 21. He's 5-star, 5-star. This guy can do it all. And, super instrumental in this push that Manchester City will be starting, hopefully, in order to take the championship away from Arsenal. Just because I don't like Arsenal. I'm not a City guy, but Chelsea guy, of course. Who'd you have at your 4?
I originally had him, but
Cherky?
But I have to move him up.
Okay.
At number 4, I have Luis Diaz from Bayern for 70 million. Now this could be controversial because it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I know,
but
for Bayern,
I would say
that's too much. But
he's an upgrade over Sane, in my opinion.
Definitely.
He's an upgrade over Sane because Sane was playing on that left wing, even though he primarily should be a right.
Another yellow flag actually is Colombian.
Yeah, Colombian. Also, Gnabry also tends to play on that left. I think he's better than him because Gnabry now has moved into like an attacking mid role.
Well, he changed his hair at the same time that he changed his position. He changed his hairstyle. Gnabry's really locking in.
And now, besides, he also takes on his man, gets a lot of, he gets a lot of GA.
Yeah.
I know it's the, Bundesliga, and I guess it's not maybe the highest ranked, but he's also scored a lot of important goals in this run in the Champions League for him in the group stage, scored against PSG. I think it's an underrated signing. He alongside Kane and Olise can help push them to not only make it past Real, but potentially win the UCL this season.
They could absolutely win the UCL should they make it past Real Madrid. Now, I did not have Luis Diaz on the list. I did not have any players from the Bundesliga on this list. However, I'm staying in the Premier League. I'm staying with Manchester City for the number 3 spot. It's Antoine Semenyo.
Ooh, okay.
Antoine Semenyo has been... I just need to pull up these stats real quick. Who do you have at your 3 spot?
My 3, I have Luka Modric on a free transfer.
Oh, interesting.
I originally had him 1, but I was like, there's definitely better.
Yeah, 1 would be... one's crazy for Luka Modric. To be fair, though, he has been helping AC Milan a lot. Without him, I don't know what they would be doing.
They were like 9th place. I think they were either 8th or 9th last season. Now he has them challenging for the title. So
yep.
That's what does it for me, having him at number 3.
We can't question his greatness. Antoine Semenyo, in 29 appearances for City, has 15 goals and 4 assists. He's been playing absolutely absurd. And, when we look back at what he was doing with City, he's got 9 appearances. In those 9 appearances, 5 goals and 1 assist. If you date back to what he was doing with Bournemouth at the start of the season, we have 20 appearances total for them still with the Cherries, and he had 10 goals and 3 assists. And even before that, season before. In his 37 appearances, he netted 11 goals. So a double-digit scorer. He's proven it 3 seasons in a row. I think he's going to keep doing it. And the Ghanaian international, another guy who's really good with his left, really good with his right. You're kind of seeing a recurring theme here with the players that City have been picking up. Reinders as well, really good with both feet. So I got Semenyo at the 3.
You want to know a little something about Semenyo?
What's that?
Look it up right now. Back in 2019, Chelsea refused to pay, I think, Bristol City $2 million for his services.
Okay, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. I'm taking a look here at the moment. Trying to not leave any dead air out there. Let's see what we got. Who you have as your 2?
At number 2, I have the Barcelona goalkeeper Joan Garcia for $25 million. They needed an upgrade because Ter Stegen, with all due respect, wasn't it anymore, and he was, he had fallen off, was getting injuries, a lot of injuries he was facing. Szczesny just hates playing soccer. Szczesny was doing good for the time that he was in goal for Barcelona. But now they brought in Joan Garcia, and, Joan Garcia is really smart. He had an error or two, but who doesn't? Makes a lot of saves, keeps Barca, from conceding a lot of goals. Barca's defense is, almost suicidal with that high line that they play.
How much did he cost?
$25 million. And
$25 million.
And now his market value is like $45 million.
Holy cow. I kind of regret not putting him on my list, actually, now that you say that. Yeah. That's your 2?
Yeah, that's my number 2.
I'm moving into number 2 with Matheus Cunha. I think that
Cunha
has been instrumental in this Man United run. I think he's been a better signing than Mbuemo, obviously, than Šeško.
Yeah.
Partnership between him and Bruno Fernandes is really blossoming, and as much as it's fun to make fun of Man United when they're not doing well, I mean, you like to see them have some success.
A little bit, yeah.
And they're playing good ball as well. Mm-hmm. You like to see. Speaking of Bournemouth, speaking of Man United, remember that? I think we kind of hit on that a little bit with Harry Maguire, but that was ridiculous, that call.
Yeah.
Some things you can't control.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and my number one signing. I'll go Granit Xhaka for $17 million, taking over the midfield of Sunderland. Had them top 4 for a while there at the start of the season. They are now, I believe, 10th. I'll pull that up and double check myself, but I got Xhaka for coming over and rebranding, really becoming a true leader of a Premier League squad again, like he was supposed to be with Arsenal.
Yeah. Xhaka has, he's had quite the redemption story going back to his Arsenal days when under Emery he was captain, then had a falling out with the fans. He told them to shush when he was subbed off. Then then once Arteta came in, they all wanted him out, but then he revived himself, showed that he was a class player. He left, then went to Leverkusen. In his first season there, he won the double with them, he won the Bundesliga with them and the DFB Pokal.
Yep.
Led them, not just him, other players as well, of course.
Yeah, Grimaldo was huge on that team as well. Yeah.
Led them to the UEFA Europa League final, in which they lost. Surprisingly, I thought they were going to win that. Then he left.
Was that Tottenham?
No, it was Atalanta. Atalanta beat them 3-0 with the Lookman hat trick. Then he stayed one more season, and then after that he left because Ten Hag became the head coach. I wouldn't want to have Ten Hag be my coach either. But yeah, it's good to see that now he's taking the reins, for a club like Sunderland, who used to be mainstays, and now, they're finally back after 8-9 years.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, growing up, they were always in the Premier League.
Yeah, and then my number 1, Ryan Cherky for $36.5 million.
Really?
Yes.
You got him at number 1.
I have him at number 1. That's why I was revising my list. I was looking at it, I was like, I think he should be number 1. And the fact that, again, we had stated it, Man City's sporting director needs, a raise just because of this deal. Because to get a player like Ryan Cherky for $36.5 million is a steal. He's worth 60, 70 million now. And you don't get many players who are not just good with one foot, both feet, crafty, technical, can play on the left, can play on the right, can play behind the striker in that cam role. Heck, if you want to drop him as a basic midfielder, he can even play there.
Yep.
He is the definition of just kind of forgetting the word for it, but like he can do it all.
He's
Mr.
very
Do It All.
versatile.
Very
Yeah.
versatile, yes.
Yeah.
And when you have a player like that in your squad, it makes you just that much dangerous as like a team,
Yeah.
not just for your club, but for your country as well.
Yeah, he's going to be a central part of the City revival as they try and make their run at winning the league and stealing it from Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
We keep talking about that. I really hope it does come to fruition. Was that manifesting when you keep talking
Manifesting,
about it?
yeah. Manifestation.
Hopefully we're doing something like that. I manifest that Chelsea will no longer be buns and we'll find center backs as well. Put that out into the universe, huh? Yeah, so we got Yamal as probably one of the most exciting players to look forward to this upcoming World Cup. Also, Elise we mentioned, we talked about. Can't forget to mention Valverde, probably is he the best box-to-box? Probably right now informed the best box-to-box midfielder player in the world.
And if not the best, one of the best.
One of the best. Yeah, one of the best. So a lot of big players to look forward to. Some guys that weren't mentioned in Nick Wright's article. No, I'm just kidding. We don't want to give any more press to Nick Wright and the guys over on that show. But
stick to football and basketball.
Yeah, and we'll stick to the real football.
Exactly.
Called soccer here. But the World Cup is a-coming, and we just wanted to remind everybody of that on this international break. We'll be back next week probably at a revised time because of the Easter break. But stay tuned. UCL is going to be here soon enough before you know it, and then the Premier League race and the Serie A race will be back on. Anything you want to say before we head out, Luigi?
Forza Napoli.
Oh, Forza now. I'm going to have to hit him with a Go Chelsea. Come on, you Blues. We got The Drums here on 98.5 WNUW LP Aston. Enjoy your Monday night and go NU Volleyball.